Everyone, how you doing? I'm gonna do this in reverse, coming from California all the way to the East Coast. Good morning to everyone in California, Midwest. Good. Get on that job and make sure you stay on that job, but also just put your little piece in and listen to what we got to talk about today. I'm gonna be talking to a lovely lady by the name of Hope Flood, comedian Hope Flood, business lady Hope Flood, entrepreneur Hope Flood, worldwide known Hope Flood. That's what I'm going to be talking to, having an exclusive interview in reference to the ninth annual Comics Rock Convention in Atlanta. Yes, East Coast, you got it. Now, East Coast, enjoy your lunch. Sit back, finish the snacks, because we got more for you when we come back. This interview, Hope Flood.
You are now tuned into Urban Voice Media.
All right, everyone, we're back. As I said earlier, Hope Flood will be joining us momentarily. We're getting her suited and booted right now to come up. She's just walking into the studio to do what she got to do. Actually, she's not in the studio. She's at home in California. I'm just playing with y'all. But get that pop down. Get the sandwich down. If you're riding to work, get that bagel in. Drink that last cup of coffee. Hey, it may be so funny if you're driving. That's why I say get that coffee in. Because Hope might make you spit it out. So get it on down. I'm giving you 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2. Here she go. Hope, how you doing, baby?
Hey, babe. How you doing? Happy Wednesday, y'all. How y'all doing?
All right. Early in the morning in Cali.
Early in the morning. I'll get up, though. I'll be up. I'll sleep when I'm dead, okay? So I got to get up. I got work.
How's that sunshine out there in Cali?
It ain't shining yet.
Oh, yeah.
It's just all right. It ain't.
It's still us right now. We still got it here in Carolina, son.
50 degrees is cold for us. So,
See that? You don't start playing already. You don't started playing already.
It got down to 36, and we had mitts on, hats, gloves, furs, all kind of stuff. I saw somebody with a muzzle on and all kinds of stuff. I said, "Now look," I yelled out the window. I'm like, "Now y'all doing way too much or whatever." But we're not used to this kind of cold, basically.
They getting ready. They're getting ready. Hope there was in the introduction. I mean, when I was looking at your credits of all the things you've done from the time you stepped on stage in reference to Def Comedy Jam, Baby Boy, Love the One You're With, doing the Martin Lawrence Presents the First Amendment stand-up. Mm-hmm. You also did stage plays. You've been working hard, you hope. You really, really been working hard.
I have. I've been working hard. I mean, I'm 30, almost 35 years in this game. I have been working hard. I have.
Tell me something. When you got into doing comedy, what was the main thing that told you, said, hey, you know what? This is what you need to stick with. Even though you might not be at the plateau you want to be starting out. What made you say, this is what I want to stick with?
Well, first of all, I think after a while, I realized that being a female comedian, that I really needed a dick because I needed to be a male comedian to get further in this business.
I told y'all, drink that coffee. You better hurry up.
Early in the morning and stuff. So I was like, I need a penis. I need a dick and 2 balls in order to finish this career out. And I just realized how much harder it was for female comedians, especially in the time that I started in 1989. There were not a lot of Black female comedians on TV. We had, of course, Marsha and Thea and Shirley Hemphill and them, and they paved the way. But, where comedy went after them, it still wasn't a lot. And so breaking down a lot of those barriers was what I was spending a lot of time doing, was trying to create a voice for female comedians in this business. And so it's been challenging, and it's still challenging and everything. But I knew I've been wanting to be in the business since I was 5 years old. I knew I wanted to be somewhere in the business. I didn't discover stand-up comedy until later. But I was always in every school play, every talent show. I've been in front of audiences and people since I was 5 years old. So I knew I wanted to do this. I just didn't discover stand-up until way later.
Let me ask you, Hope. You have done comedy stand-up across seas, right?
Yes.
is the audience different across seas than it is here in the States?
In the respect of like with the military and stuff, it's like our people, a lot of our people are in the military, blacks and Latinos and everything. So it wasn't hard because they understood and they wanted a piece of America the best way they could. They wanted the US the best way they could. So no, they were grateful and gracious and humbled and happy that we would come over and didn't forget about them. It's almost like, me when in 1997, when my first Comic View appearance, I talked about men in the penitentiary because my son's father was in jail at that time. So that's what I knew and that's what I talked about. And I have so many brothers that get out of prison and they'll come up to me and crying, and saying, thank you for always thinking about the men locked up, the brothers locked up. It really got me through some dark times and stuff. So yeah, so that's how the military people felt. And it was no barrier. The military was a lot more stricter on what we could say. We couldn't talk about the president at the time. We couldn't talk about interracial relationships because that goes on a lot. So there were a few restrictions and stuff. Some of the bases that we went to, you couldn't curse. Some of the bases you went to, it was all out. So everything was different. So it was a lot of fun. I've been to about 14 countries and stuff, and I had a ball doing it.
Oh wow, I envy you, and I tilt my hat off to you.
Thank you.
I was watching one of your skits last night as I was preparing for the show, and you just spoke in reference to your son's father. I thought that was just a joke.
No.
And and one question we're gonna jump on into the ninth annual Comics Rock convention.
I got time. Whatever you want to do.
One thing crossed my mind as I was getting prepared for today. Is it fair to say that comics can be or are or should be some of the best liars on the planet?
No, because we're not lying. Our stand-up comedy is rooted in truth. So when you see comedians, like you said about my son's father, he was like, that was real. Absolutely real. Because that's what I can draw upon is my life and the tragedies in my life or the trauma or the setbacks and make it funny because it's not just my story. It's somebody else's story. I'm not the only one who got a baby daddy that was in the penitentiary or anything like that. I'm not the only one that has been molested or anything. And so that's what we do. We talk about our pain and we put it on stage and we make it funny because that's our therapy. So when you see comedians, most of their act is rooted in their personal life or family. It's true. Yeah.
Because I wondered about that. I'm like, to come up with these skits, do you take the truth and just extend it to, like, cause you have to put pieces of the puzzle in there to not tell everything because you don't want to put too much of your personal life out there.
Well, when I did radio, I moved to Dallas to do radio, and I would talk about just like I'm talking to you, and I was funny on stage. I had to get up be funny at 5:00 in the morning every day, and I would talk about my life at the time, my past, and everything. And the general manager said, "How do you put all your business out there on the radio like that?" And I said, "Nobody knows if it's the truth or not, but it's somebody's truth, but it is my truth." So I never worry about that. I never worry about that because I'm transparent. And most comedians are dealing in a lot of pain, and a lot of hurt, a lot of trauma, a lot of mental illness in the comedy community.
And I hope you're 100% right because I did a show last year with a comedian. I'm not going to call their name, but they called me and they had so much vigor on them, so much pressure on them, what was going on with them in their relationship. And me and my wife was sitting in the car. At the time, we was in Omaha, Nebraska, and we sitting in the car getting ready to get something to eat. And I told my wife, I said, "Baby, go ahead and go into the restaurant. Let me handle this dude right here." So we got to talking, and when she came back out, it was like I was talking to my best friend because I had to set this person down and say, "Look, you can't take what's going on in your life. You can't take that out on everybody."
Right.
And he just needed a friend to talk to. And from that point forward, I mean, they were calling me like 11, 12. Cause I told them, I said, my doors is open. My phone line is always open. I didn't mean that he was going to actually do it. But they started calling me, and I'm like their mentor. I said, "All right, instead of me paying you, you're going to start paying me because you're on the clock now."
You got to come do these shows for free or something. When the pandemic happened and and we couldn't go and do shows, and they had shut stuff down, and everybody went on social media and started doing videos, and I would see the comedians and stuff, and what the stuff that they were doing, I was like, he ain't gonna make it. He not gonna make it.
Yes.
Because a lot of us, that is our only love. That's our interaction, the love of the fans and being on the stage and that laughter and that feedback and stuff. It fuels us. It makes us feel good. And just imagine that being taken away. It's different when you take a vacation, but when something that you love to do for 20, 15, 20 years has been taken away from you that you cannot do. Sometimes we run to the stage just because of something we went through. Like, I need to get on stage. I'm going through a lot at home, or I'm going through a lot with my, relationships or whatever. I need to get on stage. And we run to the comedy club and we don't worry about getting paid. We just need to get on stage to vent about whatever's going on and get that love. And when, nobody has to say, you my favorite comedian. Nobody has to take a picture with you or have you sign an autograph. And that's what makes us feel good. So, and a lot of comedians, that's all that they have. They're ostracized from their families or, going through a lot of stuff, and they need that love. And thank you for being that person, to do that. I go to therapy now. Okay. It's cool to have therapy now. So I go to therapy every week. And my therapist, the first time I came, she wrote down all the stuff I was talking about for 2 hours. She said, you have a lot of trauma. I'm like, you think? You think? No, you're kidding. I'm just here because I want to be or whatever like that. Of course. And it's rooted in, our trauma. So when people think that what we're talking about is exaggerated or whatever, a lot of times it's not exaggerated. A lot of times we are just trying to find the funny in our pain.
And you stepped on something, because when I jumped on board with Urban Voice Media and started doing interviews, one thing that I come across is there's a lot of us going through trauma. And I never knew that, some people, the pressure is so heavy on them, they need to go and get sit down and talk to a therapist.
You really do. And what the problem is that, white people been getting therapy since the beginning of time. But in the Black community, if you went and got therapy, you were considered retarded and stuff. So you didn't go and you just dealt with your pain, or you try to tell your mom and she said, well, that happened to me, I got over it. Then your grandmother, the same thing. And it's generational of trauma that's untreated. Untreated trauma is detrimental and is very deadly. So now in 2020 and 2000, it's cool to go to therapy now. Everybody has a therapist. Everybody goes to counseling. But just imagine if we could have had that from slavery, and we are a product of that. We're a product of that bloodline of slavery. And even though we're not enslaved, we're still in a form of slavery right now. Not just in our mind, but just the way they're killing us and stuff. Now the KKK has now got uniforms on and stuff. They pull you over for routine traffic tickets and tail lights and non-insurance, and they kill you and beat you to death. And we're scared every single day, about that. And so this is a new level of trauma that but thank God they have free therapy now. So, we don't, kill ourselves and stuff. That's even more prevalent in the Black community, suicide. Before, you couldn't even do that because your grandma said, if you kill yourself, you ain't gonna go to heaven. So people didn't do that, back then, and we just suffered. And we suffered and we took it out on our family. Our men took it out on their women, our children, and we just, and it's just something that has needed to be addressed since the beginning of time.
And with me, I got addressed with it because you used the word earlier, retarded. And I used to say that to a lot of my friends. And once I started getting educated and some of my peers started coming to me and say, yo, L, you taking fun in it, but that's serious. I had to get on the phone and call some of my friends up. Man, I didn't mean to call you retarded.
He probably is retarded. And that's why he need to go to counseling. That ain't the thing you should say. Your retarded ass need to go to counseling, okay? I have diagnosed you. You are retarded, and you need to go to counseling because some of this shit you doing is retarded.
Yes. I ain't calling their names.
They know who they are. They're going to call you after they see this shit, okay? They going to call you. Man, you still saying that?
Yeah, because you still what?
You still doing crazy shit, what I'm saying? So, I live downtown LA, and I have to pass. We have a really, really serious homeless problem here. And it's so It's so serious that the governor came down and said it was a state of emergency, but he didn't know what to do about it. And people are outside on tents. Thank God we have beautiful weather pretty much all year round. We rain a little bit. It has gotten a little colder, but we do have great weather. And they have these tents, and we have an area called Skid Row, and it's like a whole community of of homeless people, and they live in tents outside. They cook in these tents, and they live, that's how they live their lives and everything. And it's a lot of untreated mental illness. It's a lot of childhood trauma. It's a lot of PTSD. A lot of veterans are down there. And it's different for a man to be homeless because all y'all got is a penis in your booty hole, whereas a woman homeless is different because we got titties, we got smells that y'all just don't have, and it's different. And women get raped down there. A homeless person dies a day, and we try to do our part with them. And people get scared of the homeless and stuff. And I said, I'm not afraid of them, because if you talk to them and have a conversation with them, some of them are highly intelligent people. They look out for you. So and then, oh, but God, it could be me. I've been down there before. I've done it before. I've been homeless before, and so I get it. And some people just, these no's and no's and no after no after no, and you trying to pull yourself up, and these no's start to hurt and hit hard, and you don't have any resources or anything like that. Well, California, we have a lot of resources in California. That's one thing we do have, and like other states don't have what we have, and but the mental illness is real. And I see these people, and I said, God, what are we going to do? What are you going to do? These people are laying on the ground. These people are talking to themselves. These people are walking around with no shoes on, no coats. I have a million coats. So I just go down there. When I got sick with the corona, I had an epiphany, and we could talk about that later. I had an epiphany. And when I got home, I was in the hospital 6 weeks. I almost died. And when I got home, I just downsized and got rid of a lot of stuff. And I took almost 40 trash bags of clothes, and I just had my son put it on the sidewalk for the homeless to go through. I didn't take it to Goodwill or Salvation Army or anything. Mm-hmm. I just took it and put it on the sidewalks, food and things that I knew I would. And every time I get rid of food, I just always just take it over there to them, and I just leave it down there and say, hey, I brought y'all something. And I just leave it in different corners.
I like that, what you just said, because we are so prone to throw away food versus carrying it to someone who will appreciate it.
Will appreciate it. And we might think it's junk or nothing or this and that, whatever. It's something that these people don't get a meal. These people don't get water.
Because now, you can go back 5 years and it was really only shown on the internet and everywhere, California with Tent City. Now every major metropolitan city has Tent City.
Yeah. It's
and I didn't think of what you just said. Mm-hmm. And that's something that now I'm going to start doing, boxing stuff up and carrying it to these people.
And just, you ain't even got to talk to them if you don't want to. You're afraid of them. You don't want to touch them and stuff like that. Just put it on the sidewalk or put it next to their tent or something like that. And they'll go through it. Let them go through it with dignity. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. And that's what I do. Like, hey, I left you something, brother. I left you something, sister. They like, God bless you. I'll give them a couple of bucks if I have it. I don't care what they do with it. People always say, I don't gonna give them no money. They're gonna go buy drugs. That ain't your business. And you don't know what those drugs are doing to help them to survive or cope with whatever's going on with them. You don't know that. And that ain't your job to judge that or judge them and stuff. So I just try to give as much as I can. I don't do too much of the, feed the homeless every week like I probably should, but I do my part. I do a little bit. And as best as I can. So yeah, I think that we should all do that and quit just throwing away food. Like I have a bunch of, I go to the Dollar Tree and buy so much junk. I come out of there, look like I've been trick-or-treating and shit or whatever. So,
ain't it good?
My girlfriend Lunell, y'all know Lunell. Lunell said, Hope, I'm gonna buy you. She said, when I get my money right, I'm gonna buy you your own Dollar Tree. That's how much I go. Okay, to the Dollar Tree and 99-cent store and buy junk. And the other day I said, I'm getting a little too chunky. And so I just took all of that stuff and I just bagged it up and I just took it when I went past there and just left it for the people. You hungry? I buy you a meal. And it was really, really bad, when the pandemic first happened and the whole city shut down.
Right.
But it looked like, I went through downtown. It looked like a scene from I Am Legend. And the homeless people were walking around like zombies, walking in front of your car. They were starving to death because you have to figure people come downtown, our downtown, to shop. in the wholesale district, in the garment districts and stuff like that. We have a lot of shopping down there. So you can imagine. And so these homeless people either beg for money, or if we eat a hot dog and throw it away, or throw away something in the trash, that's how they eat. And just imagine they shut it all down and they didn't have nothing to eat, and they didn't have any food or anything like that. And it just looked, it was heartbreaking. It was so heartbreaking.
Mm.
It really was.
That's a story there. Something could be done. Reason why it hasn't, it baffles me as to why the
Well,
government.
the Bible says that the poor are going to be among us. So it is. But 5 billionaires can get together and give $1 billion apiece, and we can eradicate it. We're talking about what? Bill Gates. We're talking about Warren Buffett. We're talking about Oprah Winfrey. We're talking about Kanye. We're talking about, and I'm not saying they don't do their part. Let me just say that. I'm not saying they don't do their part, but each one of them, if they gave $1 billion apiece, we could eradicate homelessness. Now, a lot of the homeless people, like the Vietnam vets, they do not want to go in buildings. Some of them don't want to be responsible, whatever. So it's hard to house them, because they don't want to, or they don't trust people. My girlfriend works for the city of Inglewood, where I'm from, and that's her job, is to get the homeless people off the streets. And she has a hard time because so many people have come and said they're going to do this, do that, and they don't do it. And so they don't trust people. So she has to gain their trust first and then find them places. And she puts them in a hotel, and then she tries, then she finds them housing. And a lot of them it's just a lot of mental illness. It's a lot.
It's a lot of work for quite naturally, I'm sure. And as you said earlier, in reference sitting down because of trauma, they probably also need to go through that recourse as well.
Yeah.
Is getting that mental build up to want to, once you get them into the hotel, get them cleaned up, to want to try for themselves.
Well, when you have been dealing with trauma, like say if the people that you trust, your father, your mother, your uncle, your auntie, the people that you have trust have violated you and molested you or raped you since you were 5, 6, 7 years old, it's hard to trust a stranger. Because if you feel like my own blood will do it to me, what the world got for me? So it starts there. So a lot of the trauma is from people that you know.
That's hard hitting. That's hard hitting what you just said.
Mhm.
As I said earlier, one of the hardest working people. I'm putting you in the top 10 list now.
Oh, thank you.
Now scratch that. We're putting you in top 5 list of one of the hardest working people in show business. 9th annual Comics Rock Convention. When was the first one?
2013. I moved back to California. I'm from LA. I'm originally from Benton Harbor, Michigan. And my mother kidnapped us, my brother and I, because we were being physically and mentally abused by her brothers. And my grandmother was a prescription drug addict, and she was in and out the hospital a lot. So our uncles were basically raising us. My mother was in California already. And so my great grandmother called my mother and said, "You need to come and get your kids." And so my mother came one day, and I went to school and I never came back, and she kidnapped us and we moved to California. It was the best thing ever happened, but I didn't know it at the time. I was a kid and I was very attached to my grandmother. And so it was a hard transition coming from a small town and going to a big city like California. I didn't even know how to fight. I didn't even know what that was. I used to help the teacher in school in my home because I wanted to skip me 2 or 3 grades. My grandmother would let me. So I was so advanced that my teacher just had me as the teacher's aide, helping and stuff. So we moved to California, and I've been here ever since. So I've been in California like 50 years. And then I got the opportunity to do radio, and I moved to Dallas, and I stayed there for 7 years. And I moved to Atlanta for a year. And then I moved back to LA in 2011. And in 2012, God put in my heart to do something and to take the things that I've learned and didn't learn about this business and put it in workshops and seminars to help other comedians to win. So that birthed the Females in Comedy convention. I did that first for females because we are so behind the male comedians, and I wanted to know why. I have a group on Facebook called Females in Comedy Association, FICA, and we have like over 2,500 girls in that group. And I started there to start those conversations on why are we so behind the male comedians? And from that birthed the convention. And then I did it 2 years for just the females. And then the male comedians started calling me and then threatening me, like, Hope, I'm going to put on a dress and a wig and some heels and I'm coming to the convention. I'm like, don't make that the excuse why you want to put on a dress and some heels and stuff like that. Don't make that the excuse. And so I rebranded the name and called it the Comics Rock Convention. And then now it's for everybody to come. If you are in comedy, if you're a veteran comedian, a newbie comedian thinking about being in comedy, if you're a veteran trying to revamp your comedy career and you've gotten stuck and stagnant, for 5 or 6 or 7 years, then this is the convention for you. And so it's workshops and seminars taught during the day, and they're taught by other comedians like Rodney Perry, who comes and teaches an improv class. Shane Forbes teaches a social media class. I got Marcus Bowers out of Houston who teaches about money. It's called Data Over Dollars. Big Kenny and Kenny Williams, and they come from all over and they teach workshops and seminars. And what it does is help comedians to get their aha moment, because we have multiple talents in us. It's just stand up is not enough. And you have other things in you. You might be you might birth a podcast like yours, or I've had people go back and get on sitcoms and do competitions and get on the radio and write books, and so all of those things are at the convention, and then they get to showcase at the mainstream comedy clubs. Like in LA, I did it for 7 years in LA, and they get to come to LA and see LA and get to work at the mainstream comedy clubs that they could never get in on their own. And then I decided to do it in Atlanta last year, and it's more centrally located, so comedians can drive from Memphis and Alabama and the DMV and Florida, and it's been very successful. And then I honor people. I do a purple carpet. I'm sick of red carpet, so I do a purple carpet celebrity comedy tribute, awards tribute, and I honor pioneers and people in the business. And my first one, when I did it, I honored Michael Williams, who had the first ever Black comedy club in LA. We call it the house that Robin Harris built. So I started with him. Then I honored Tina Graham, who is the godmother of comedy, and she's helped comedians, and she's the booker of Def Jam and Snaps and all these things. And then I had Dick Gregory come and speak for 5 hours one time, and I have all that footage before he passed away. And he spoke and came to LA, and I had it at a historical place, and all the Black Hollywood showed up. They came and he spoke. He even performed afterward. And then I honored Raymond Lambert, who started the first ever Black comedy club in Chicago. He birthed Deion Cole and D. Ray Davis and Bernie Mac and all the rest of them. And then last year in Atlanta, I did 8 people. I honored Marsha Warfield with the Living Legend Award. And she performed and did her one-woman show. J. Anthony Brown, who has the first Black comedy, he has a comedy club in Atlanta and in Los Angeles that he keeps open just to help comedians and have them a place to go, promoters and things. And so I'm just into wanting to give people their flowers where they lie. We're losing our icons, we're losing our legends, we're losing people, and we just want them to know, thank you so much.
So with Urban Voice Media, them and Up One Entertainment, they're putting on a great deal of comedy shows here in the Carolinas.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of young comics who, I'm be honest with you, Hope, they're clueless when it comes to the business end of it. So is this something that the convention can help those guys out with?
That's the class I teach. It's the first class, and I'm the first person they see when they come to the workshops and seminars. And I'm real serious and stuff. Most comedians are actually, it's an oxymoron. We make people laugh, but we're some of the most serious and smartest people in the world. And so I'm real serious about what I do and my comedy. I don't mess around. I don't play with them and everything. So I teach the business of comedy, and it's about negotiating your deals, contracts, how to get your own comedy room if you want to, how to set up and make sure all your social media and all of that is the same. So if I'm performing and my name is Hope Flood, that should be all of my social media. It shouldn't be my company name, because when people go to look for me, they're not going to go look for the company. They're going to go and look for Hope Flood. So I teach them that. I teach them about all these nicknames and we just talk real talk, and we do role playing and stuff. So yeah, it's something for every single person. Even if you're not in the business and stuff, a lot of the workshops and seminars are just for business, but I just curtail it for comics and comedians and stuff. And comedians think, I don't need it, I'm funny. Yeah, you are funny. That I'm not even debating that or whatever. I'm not the judge of funny or whatever, but you need to know this business. You need to know that this is not a sprint. This is a marathon, that to take your time. And because if you get these opportunities that you are not ready for and you mess them up, Hollywood is very unforgiving, especially with us. We could never do what Robert Downey Jr. do. Samuel L. Jackson would never work again if he'd done half the shit that Robert Downey Jr. did, or Charlie Sheen, or anything like that. We're judged differently. Even with Bill Cosby, I'm not saying he's right or wrong and different. I'm not even taking a side. But if that had been a white comedian and stuff, it wouldn't even have been what it is, whatever. So this is what I teach at the convention. And we have so many workshops, sketch comedy, voiceovers, and so comics can say, you know what? I think I can do that. They would have never, ever considered it had they not come to the convention and got that information to know I could be doing other things in the business to make money in addition to being on the road, or if I don't want to do the road, and things like that. So that's what it's about. So I've taken things that I've learned and didn't learn in this 30-year journey, and I put it in workshops and seminars to help comedians win.
What's the price to come to the convention?
What right now, it's only $249 to get 25 workshops. I'm doing a pajama jam for female comedians, pool party. We have meet and greet. We're doing a bowling tournament fundraiser that we're raising money for comedians that are sick and shut in, that can't get out and work. We're raising money for that. I do a farewell luncheon. They get to showcase at the Atlanta Mainstream Comedy Clubs, the Uptown, the Atlanta Comedy Theater, the Punchline, the Laughing Skull, and we do that in the evening. So it's a fast-paced convention. I even have a professional development day, where they can come and get their headshots done. I am sick of seeing comedians headshots at Denny's and shit, or with their mama in it, or their kids. Those are not headshots, y'all. Those are not headshots.
People, I'm gonna stop you right there if you don't mind. Hope, I'm sorry. You nailed it for me. I am so furious that when we're booking people, we got to travel to New Zealand to find a decent picture. And then we got to do so many camera tricks to make that picture look good. I'm like, oh my God.
I wouldn't book them.
I'm not talking about
I would penalize them for that. I wouldn't book them. It don't cost that much. These headshots, you can do a mini photo shoot. It's going to be a mini photo shoot. It's a 30-minute mini photo shoot, and it'll cost you $50.
See that?
Then your electronic press kit. I have an electronic press kit. Did I send you my electronic press kit? My electronic press kit with all of my bio and my cover and all of the things that I've done. It's professional, because that's what gets you in the door a lot of times. I've been around before all social media, before emailing, where I literally had to take my headshot and my video and mail it. And I would be at the post office all day, every day, mailing stuff to bookers and promoters. And my presentation was so good that they booked me just on that alone.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is funny. Last night, Hope sent us a message, said, where the hell did y'all find that picture?
It's like you try to delete all the old shit, but once it's on the web, you can't delete it. And people go and dig up. I can send you 500 pictures, but people will go and dig up some shit. And I'm like, where did you find this at? And stuff. It's just like, if you Google my net worth, it says I'm worth $4 million. I said, no wonder these people be all in my inbox and shit or whatever. I ain't gonna say in my lifetime I ain't had millions of dollars run through my hand. I ain't gonna say that, but I ain't worth $4 million, y'all. I just need to put that out there right now, fellas. You can get out my DMs and my inboxes and stuff. I'm not worth $4 million yet. Hey.
Exactly. So people, y'all and her finances, stay out. I had to tell a family member this week. They were asking me, hey, what the money stack look like now? I said, stay out my business, stay out my finances. We can stay family, stay out my finances.
You ain't getting on these airplanes and running these jokes and doing what I'm doing and sacrificing and stuff. I don't loan money and I don't borrow. It is it's the fastest way to mess up a friendship.
So the convention is not specifically for comics. It's for anyone to come.
It is specifically for comedians, but I was saying that anybody in business can benefit and learn from the workshops and seminars. Even if you're an actor, You could be an actor. You could be in the music industry, anything in whatever. So people do come. I have people, some of them, people who come that are not comedians and stuff, and they benefit from it. And they take these tools and they use them and they go back. And I have a bra fitting thing that I do just for the ladies. It's the highlight of my convention and stuff because the average woman is wearing the wrong size bra. And a lot of times it's you go to these places like and they call themselves fitting you, but they just trying to sell you a bra and they're not really fitting you right. But the average woman is, and we're in denial of it too. I had a girlfriend that came and I had her measure. I said, you need to measure because this bra you're spilling out all up here. I can't stand it when they spill out. That means that bra doesn't fit, ma'am, and stuff. When you are spilling out and you got titties hanging out here. Oprah had that. I was like, you worth too much money to have a raggedy bra on, Oprah. But anyway, and so I have a person that comes and does bra fitting. I had a girlfriend, she was wearing a 42D. When the girl measured her, she was like a 48G. And her back didn't hurt anymore and everything. So that's the highlight of my convention. I also do a self-defense, have a self-defense class for the female comedians. We're on the road a lot of times. Some of our girls have gotten assaulted and beat up and everything. So I have a class for that because I'm always looking out for us. You know, I was telling my dude today that when my mother died in 2003, and this is a part of the reason I also do it. I love comedians. I love my comedy family. Some of our friendships span 30 years, and we've seen our kids grow up. We've buried our mothers and our fathers and our siblings and stuff, and we are a close-knit community. And when my mother died, I didn't have the money to bury her, and this guy I was dating at the time got on email. This was before social media and stuff. And he just emailed everybody on my email list. And I would go to my mailbox and checks would just be there from comedians. Some more sending $900. Earthquake, I called him. He said, if you ever need me, call me. And I called him. I said, Quake, I don't have the money to bury my mother. She died suddenly. And he met me. He had his people meet me with a check, a blank check practically, and said, do what you need to do. And every time I went to the mailbox, it was just money for people. Hope, you know, it ain't much, but I said every little bit helps. If you sent $35, it paid for something, you know, whatever. And I was able to bury my mother and stuff. And that's another reason why I do it. And the friendships that are made with these comedians when they come, these bonds and stuff. So if you from Kansas City and you meet somebody from Dallas or Detroit, now you got a friend or a comedian there. Now you can go to their city and work their rooms. And nobody's doing this. This is the longest running urban comedy convention ever. And I'm proud of it. It would be my 10th year, but in 2020, the pandemic happened, so I didn't do it. And then I decided to do it in Atlanta because Atlanta opened. The pandemic happened in March. Atlanta opened back up in April. I was like, well, did the corona pass them or something? I don't know what they're doing and stuff, but it just felt like doing it there. So that's another reason I do it. I want us to win. We're the only genre of entertainment that we don't have an award show. We don't have a union. If we get sick, we just sick.
Let me ask you, Hope, what sponsors are help sponsoring the convention?
Nobody. I haven't had a sponsor, L. What I do is, and I need sponsors and I need vendors, but I need a big sponsor. And a lot of these sponsors now, they want to sponsor events like Essence Festival and cruise like Tom Joyner cruises and these big jazz festivals. And some of them don't see the value in sponsoring this convention. And even though I keep doing it. So what I do to pay for everything is I say, okay, if it's cost me $20,000 to do it, I'm just throwing a number out. And then I say the registration is $249. I divide that into 20,000 and I say, okay, I need 50 comedians to register to pay for everything. And that's how I have done it this whole time. That's how I've done it.
That's something, Hope.
It's something God put it, and it's so huge, L, that I know it's God. And every year I quit. Every year I say I ain't doing it no more. So it's a running joke with the comedians. On the last day, I was like, I ain't fucking with y'all retarded motherfuckers no more. You mentally ill. But this year I figured it out. I figured it out what I'm gonna do. When they walk in the door, you got two choices. You can either get a Ritalin pill or you could get a CBD gummy. Either one, but you're gonna have something. You are not gonna come to my convention and with that mental illness and act the fool. Quit suffering in silence, comedians. Do something about it. So I'm gonna pop a CBD gummy in your mouth so you can calm down. If you want a THC one, I'm gonna have that too. Or you gonna take a Ritalin or ADD? You're gonna get something. Goddamn it! You ain't gonna come there with your mental illness and shit and acting a fool and mess up my thing and stuff. So I deal with that.
And ladies and gentlemen, she meant it. She meant it because she does have a CBD business. We're going to talk about that momentarily as well.
But I do have a mental illness workshop that we do just so people can see the signs of mental illness. And I have a therapist on site as well that they can schedule appointments with, and it's confidential. Nobody has to know, what you're going through. And it was so amazing. Shout out to Dr. Sean Powell. I met her online and we just been fast friends, and she comes and she supports it. And she's a mental health therapist. And last year she was counseling so many comedians. So her heart is so big. And she was counseling comedians and going through things at home. And I keep the convention low. I really believe what I'm offering is really a $500 to $1,000 convention. It really is. But I realize comedians don't have it. And so I don't want to, I'm not greedy. So I don't nickel and dime them. Like some conventions and festivals, you pay for this, but then you got to pay for this. You got to pay for the lunch. You got to pay for the bowling. You got to pay for this. You got to pay to get on stage. I don't do that. I think that nickel and diming and stuff is just petty to me. So the $249 covers everything and you get a showcase. So I'm doing early comics registration. I extended it. Yesterday was the last day, but I extended it until March 10th so comedians can get in. And then regular registration, it goes up just $50 registration. And I'm only doing 100 showcases and stuff. So I encourage comedians to get in while they can so they can make sure they can get a showcase as well. And then if people want to come and bring their significant others, they jump off, their manager, their agents or whatever. If there's a manager or agent that wants to learn the business, they just might as well register as a comedian. But if it's somebody that just wants to be there and they don't get to come to the workshops and seminars, but they get to come to all the special events and stuff, and they can register as well. It's like $200, and they get to come to the meet and greet. They get to come to the purple carpet event, the bowling tournament, the pajama jam, the showcases and stuff. So I got something for everybody.
What type of vendors are you looking for at the convention?
Any type of vendor. We're regular people. We're comedians, but we're regular people. We travel. We need luggage. The girls need hair, wigs, or the paparazzi jewelry or regular jewelry. I'm doing the pajama jam. So if you do those naughty toys or anything like that the girls can buy, because they come with their money. And they buy stuff or whatever. They shop and they buy stuff. So the vendors are always pleased. Butters and shea butters and lotions and you got treats and food and anything. Any vendor can come. Anybody.
Do they go to the do they go to the Facebook and Instagram page or go to the?
Yeah, they can go there or they can email me info@comicsrockconvention.com and I'll send them a vendor thing and a sponsorship deck. I'm waiting on I got to finish the sponsorship deck. I'm confirming the rest of my honorees and everything. So once I confirm the rest of my honorees and stuff, we can finish our sponsorship deck. So I'm hoping that I can finish it this week. I'm hoping that I can honor Garrett Morris with the Lifetime Achievement Award, honoring Thea Vidal with the Living Legend Award. She's coming. She's my mentor, one of my mentors. We talked for 2 or 3 hours. And, she came the first year, when I did it for female comedians. Her mother had just died. And she came and headlined 9 shows for me. And I'll never forget that. And I've always wanted to honor Thea. Thea is the first Black female comedian to have a sitcom in her name on a major network in 1997. Nobody has done that since then. And I want to give her flowers.
That's awesome. And what was that email address again?
info@comicsrockconvention.com. And they can put in the subject line vendor or sponsor. I'm also going to have on the website, if people just want to make a donation, somebody was saying, just put on there if people want to make a donation. So that should be up later today. If you just want to donate, you can cash app Comics Rock, the money sign Comics Rock, and just put in the subject line, hope donation. I love what you're doing or something like that, or email me, but I'll have that button up as well. So people could just make a donation, to help me to keep this going. And then whatever I lack or whatever I don't make, as far as paying for everything, I just pay for it out of my pocket. I just pay for the rest out of my pocket.
What was that cash app again, Hope?
The money sign Comics Rock. Comics Rock. And that just make a donation if you don't. You know a comedian, gift it to them. You know a comedian that's struggling. I have comedians, I inbox them all on Facebook, just like me and you inbox and inviting them. And one comedian was like, Hope, I can't afford it. I said, you cannot not afford it. I said, start you a GoFundMe. Ask people who believe in you and support you to donate to your dream. And you'll find out who's who. You'll figure when you start asking folks for money for your dream, you'll figure out who's for real and who ain't. And this is a great way to test them. This is a great way to test them. And so I had a girl, she put tears in my eyes. She had people donate to her dream so she could pay for her registration. And when she posted that on Instagram, I inboxed her, or I put on that, said, you made me cry. And so I protect all the comedians when they come, especially when they used to come to LA. I'll be like, okay, now look, here go my phone number. Call me if you need something. Don't be hanging around. Don't bring no red or blue. Don't be go looking for the gangs and stuff. If you need weed, whatever you need, come to me. I got you. Don't be buying stuff off the street and hanging out and doing all this stuff, because I'm responsible for these people. These people come because I ask them to come. And what I look like calling your family and saying something happened to you because I done lost you because you out here looking for the gangs and stuff, trying to learn how to crip walk and shit or whatever like that or whatever. I can teach you how to crip walk. My son teach you how to crip walk or whatever. But we're doing it in Atlanta, and Atlanta crime is probably worse than our crime. I lived in Atlanta for a year. I'm from South Central LA. I've never wanted to carry a gun until I moved to Atlanta. Them niggas is ignorant down there.
I heard that. She said, if you need your quicker picker up, I can get you that. She
Got
don't worry about nothing.
I bring high hopes to the A2 with me.
Speaking of that,
yes,
ladies and gentlemen, I said she was one of the top 5 hardest working people in show business. The show business goes far.
Yes.
She has her own business entitled High Hopes Biz.
Highhopes.biz. It's my cannabis and CBD business. I got into it when I moved back here in LA. We were the second state to go legal with cannabis medicinally. And then 2 years ago, we went recreationally. And so I got into the business because my son smoked so much goddamn weed. I figured out, let me figure out how I'm going to make some money off of this shit. And, so it's my son and I, it's our business together. My son is an amazing artist, rapper, an aspiring rapper. Y'all check him out. Raw Reef, RAWWREEF is my son on Instagram and SoundCloud. He's an amazing rapper. And so I started this business basically going to the dispensaries and buying their products and reselling it to people, buying their brownies and their cookies and reselling it. And then I met a girl about 5 or 6 years ago. I met a female comedian that was homeless, but she was in the business. And she taught me how to make my own butter and my sugar and my tincture in exchange for her staying with me. I let her stay with me. And so I said, if I'll let you stay with me for free, you're going to teach me this cannabis business and how to bake. And she did. And so now I consider myself an infuser, L. I think I need a meeting because I can infuse and medicate anything. Anything and everything can be infused. So somebody said, you're an infuser. I was like, yeah, every product I make on my own, except the gummies, I don't make them. I have somebody else make them for me. But all of these products you see on there that you're showing, I make everything. So when you order cookies, I make cookies that day. If you order, I make it fresh that day and then I ship it out to you FedEx next day or something like that. But yes, I make everything myself.
Well, Hope, later on today, I'm gonna order. I don't use regular sugar anymore when I make my drinks, like my coffee in the morning. I use, and it took a while to get acquired to the taste. I put honey in my coffee, so that honey bear, I'm gonna get that. I love those cookies. That's good dipping with your coffee. Yeah, people, Cracker Jacks. Don't tell no lie. Everybody love Cracker Jacks. Stop playing. Stop playing. You got
and these are my wrap snacks with all the I found this. I saw a bag of that, and I was like, you know what? Let me infuse these. These are all your favorite rap icons, and I think this is Masterpiece Company. These wrap snacks. And so I saw them in the stores and I said, let me buy them and put them out there and see. And when I tell you them chips is good, them Cardi B cheddar chips is so good. Oh my God, they're so good. And all the Migos and Lil Bootsy and all of them, Lil Baby, them Cardi B raps, them is so good. Infused or not infused. And I tell people all the time, don't play with my stuff. It's heavily medicated. Heavily medicated. So don't play with my stuff. People say now, and then let me explain. The edible high is different from the smoking high. The edible high takes longer. When you smoke some weed or you vape or something like that, you get high instantly if it's a good strain of weed. But with edibles, it has to go through the whole bloodstream and digestive system. So it takes a little longer. So people just keep eating it thinking, I ain't got high, I ain't got high. Wait for it. It's coming. And it's best on an empty stomach. Don't smoke when you do edibles because you don't know what got you high. But a lot of people just keep on eating stuff because it's good, because none of my stuff, you can't taste the weed in it. You can't taste the CBD in it. You can't taste it and stuff. So they just keep eating the chips and stuff because they're good. And then they stuck on stupid, can't move, can't this, can't talk, looking at the news channel, guys, whatever, and can't move. I have people that be like, I am stuck.
Hours.
I make weed water, weed juice.
Tell me about the weed water. How was that? Does it have a flavor to it, or
no? It's disgusting. Weed water is disgusting.
Okay.
And so I have to cover it, with the Kool-Aid, and I make it with the Kool-Aid and agave syrup, and lemon juice and lime juice, and I make it just like you make Kool-Aid. And then instead of regular water, I just use the cannabis water that I make, and it's very. The thing with my Hope juice has got 5 stages, L. It make you hot, horny, high, hungry, and then it's the best sleep of your life.
What?
Yeah.
My people, dig in. You got to get you some.
Yeah, got to get you some.
Repeat that. It make you do what, Hope?
Hot, horny, high, hungry, and then it's the best sleep of your life. If you have insomnia or you need to go to sleep or whatever, I just take a shot of it and it puts me right out, and it deals with your pain and everything. So I tell people all the time, if you got insomnia and you can't go to sleep, that's Nell's favorite thing. She has insomnia all the time, so she drinks my juice and it puts her right out. CBD and THC. CBD is different. CBD stands for cannabinoid, and we have cannabinoid reflectors already in our bodies. So anytime you ingest anything with CBD, it goes to those reflectors and starts the healing process. And so like me, I have sleep apnea. Anytime I take anything CBD, it puts me to sleep because I'm always sleepy. So people say, I've tried CBD and it didn't work. And what I found is that it's just like taking a prescription pill. The doctor might start you off on 5 milligrams, but you might need 10 or 15 or 20. It just depends on the trauma or what you're going through. So if you've been in a car accident or if you got PTSD, you might need more than the other. Whatever. You might need 1,000 milligrams. You might need 500 milligrams or 300 milligrams of CBD. So that's what it does. CBD is just as strong as THC. It just has a little bit of THC in it, like 0.001 to 0.003. So if you have a job where you test, then you would do CBD, but it does the same exact thing. Cannabis and CBD is a healer. I tell people all the time, prescription drugs will never heal you. It's putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound, but CBD will. And that's the problem with it. And that's why they ban it in so many states, because the pharmaceutical companies are losing so much money because people are getting away from prescription drugs that will never heal you. Jesus used it in the Bible. I can send you, if you go on the site, I have about 5 scriptures of where Jesus used it to heal people. It was called Cannabosium, strange plant, flax. And when he made that salve to make the blind man see, that was an indica that he used. And that indica is one of the healing strains and everything. So people need to educate themselves on the healing benefits, get our older people off of drugs and get them into cannabis and CBD. It will heal cancer, but the two have to work together. THC and CBD have to work together to heal cancer. You cannot heal cancer with just CBD and stuff. So you have to have THC. Anything that you're dealing with, lupus, glaucoma, anything that you're dealing with, CBD and cannabis will fix that.
Your page is very, very interesting. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the Twix. But I'm gonna go back up a little bit, Hope.
Now let me go. Go back up. I want to show you. Right, go up some more. No, go down some more. Go down. Right here is my weed capsules. That is weed in pill form. And I took one of those. It's 100 milligrams in there. I took one of those, L, and I was in the middle of my living room singing Fantasia Bittersweet for about 3 hours in a circle. And then I laid down for another 5 hours. I couldn't even move. And it just I went through my whole fucking life
Oh my
with
gosh.
that. And
Say it ain't so.
oh my God, yes. And now I'm gonna tell you what's back. Shrooms are back. Shrooms are very healing. Shrooms deals with your past. So if you got PTSD, my girlfriend healed her PTSD with mushrooms. And if you look at the movie Black Panther, when T'Challa and Killmonger and they drank the stuff and then they went to sleep and they went to sleep and their ancestor, their father showed up. That was shrooms, and that's what shrooms does. It takes you in your past to get questions answered into healing. I took some shrooms, 2 ounces, and a thing of tea on a full moon. You got to be by yourself, and you can ask the ancestors up front, what are you trying to heal? What are you trying to accomplish? And you can ask the ancestors. And me and my dead mama talked for 6 hours on them fucking shrooms. Wow. So all of these heal. All of these are healed. These are all of my gummies. They're all packaged well. Those are straws. Those nerd ropes. People, oh my God, the nerd ropes. Just a little bit of it. I tell people all the time, just start off with a little bit. Even the cookies, the brownies and stuff. I got a heavy hand when I'm putting that butter in there. I got a heavy hand when I'm putting that stuff in there. So it's all healing and stuff. So you want to go back to something? I'm sorry. I kind of
you want. You fine. You fine. You right there where I'm right here. Payday was my candy bar.
Yes, Lord.
I'm getting that today. The pay weed. Also, my other
boy ate a piece of that and spit it out because he felt high instantly. It's 1,000 milligrams, the whole bar.
Oh Lord, that got to be late at night. Then that butter weed, got to get the Butterfinger.
Yes.
It was one day the almond weed. I'm going to get one of them almond joys.
Yeah. Yes.
Ain't much on the chips, but that reefers. Got to get the reefers. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. You trying to get toe up?
The Kush Cat. No, I'm just how I tell you. Some people get these nicknames called "Stay Ready," and she know who she is. I'm gonna stay ready. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Stay ready. Stay ready. Got to get ready. Stay ready. My horny honey will do that.
Where's that at?
The honey, where I don't know. It's probably on another page. But the honey, I got some horny honey that you put it in your tea. I didn't think it worked. And so I took some, I put it in the tea. I was like, this don't work. About 30 minutes, I was like, ooh, I got to go get a toy. I got to go do something. So it's a horny honey. I have a hibiscus healing honey. And I have a hey honey, which is just a regular honey. They're the honeys and stuff or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You got hey honey and horny honey. What's the difference between the two?
The hey honey is just a cannabis infused honey, or there's a CBD one as well. When you go to the CBD thing, and then the horny honey actually it helps with your libido. It helps with women who are at that stage of menopause where they don't feel sexual or don't want to have sex anymore, and it helps lift all of that up. And then there's the hibiscus healing honey. It just heals you from a lot of ailments and things like that. So I have 3 different honeys and butter. I got a thing. I do cookie dough. I'll be like, make your own goddamn cookies. Okay. So you can have your own cannabis cookie dough and you can put it in the freezer just like you have cookie, dough. And you can make them when you want to at parties, events or whatever. So you don't have to get my cookies and have them sitting around and they may go stale or something like that. You can make your own cookie. I have can of Kool-Aid where you can make your own Kool-Aid, So I'm just thinking of everything that I feel like we need. And I have to stop myself. I'm coming out with a whole line. I have a pet line. It's just not up. I'm revamping this website to make it a little cleaner and stuff. So I have a pet line. Your pets have the same issues that we have, but they just can't have THC. Do not blow smoke or give your pets THC. You are going to kill them. They can have CBD, but they cannot have THC. Please stop giving your pets. Quit blowing when you smoke. Quit blowing your joints in your pet's face. You're going to kill them. And it seems homeless or harmless and stuff, but you can kill them that way. And so, but I have a whole pet line of products for pets coming out with a vegan line. I got a lot, you're vegans and stuff.
Mhm.
I got all my girlfriends, they swear they vegans. And I don't eat meat, but you just ate 66 Snickers. Knock it
Mhm.
off and stuff or whatever. So my vegans, I have a vegan line I'm coming out with. And Kratom. Y'all got to look up Kratom. Kratom. Kratom, the FDA and the government don't want you to know about Kratom. Kratom is the natural prescription healing. It's your natural morphine. It's your natural drugs. It's all natural. So everything that you take in drugs, Kratom does the same thing, but it's all natural and you're not hooked on it. But of course, they don't want you to know about it. So I'm researching that right now. I got one called Hey Vietnam for Vietnam vets or people with PTSD. And I'm coming out with that in my new site. So yeah, I'm into this because I want our people to heal, and that's what I call my thing. I'm healer, not dealers, and we trying to heal people and educate them on the benefits of cannabis and CBD. And don't let nobody tell you, oh, it's a like these doctors will say it's a gateway drug. Yeah, a gateway to the refrigerator to get you something to eat, some munchies,
Mhm.
something like that, which is good for people who don't eat. There's
Mhm.
some people who are suffering, with stuff like cancer and stuff that have lost their appetites. Taking and ingesting CBD and cannabis will get your appetite back.
Wow. Hope Margaret Freeman, she wants to know. She said, "Are the edibles just as good as actually smoking the weed, or is it better?"
Um, well, no, she says, are these good edibles or is it drugs? I don't know what that means. I've just explained to you that cannabis and CBD is not drugs like they're trying to say it is. Prescription drugs is drugs. That's
Mm-hmm.
drugs. Heroin is drugs. Crystal meth is drugs. Cocaine is
Mm-hmm.
drugs. But cannabis and CBD is natural. And but the edibles, like I said, the high is different. Um, the edible high is different from the other high, but they do the same thing. But I do both. I do both. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I vape, and then sometimes I do edibles. I've learned to do edibles when I'm home and relaxing. I don't do edibles when I'm out and about because you never know when it's going to kick in. And
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden, you doing 30 and a 70. And
Mm-hmm.
you'd be like, why is everybody going so fast? And stuff. You look at your speedometer, you doing 30 and stuff. So it's dangerous. So now they call it driving while under the influence as well when you're doing, and you can get a ticket for that as well as if you were driving drunk, whatever. So I do them at home.
And you know what, Hope? Several years back, my father passed from prostate cancer, and the doctor he told my dad. He said, "Do you smoke weed?" And my dad says, "No." He said, "But if you think you want to, because of the pain he was going through, you can. Just don't tell us." He said, "Just go outside." So these doctors know that weed
Damn.
is what it
It
is.
is a doctor that wants you to that cares about you will tell you to do it. And then some of them will come in there and they don't tell the doctor, and the doctor will test them again for stuff. And they're like, what happened? I don't see this, I don't that, or you're not in pain. And then they said, I've been taking cannabis, or I've been taking CBD, and they'll tell them keep doing it. So it heals. I have an ointment, a hope ointment, my girlfriend and I make, and we soak the shea butter with the cannabis in a crock pot for like 2 or 3 months. And then we add turmeric in it. We add jalapeno in it. We put mentholatum in it. We have essential oils in it. We put black pepper in it. We put cayenne pepper in it. And we soak it for like 2 months in that crock pot. And when you put that ointment on, it just automatically it just starts penetrating and healing. And I've had to make it stronger and stronger and stronger because I want people when they put it on that they can feel it and it will heal them. And I have people who buy the CBD, my hope ointment, and my CBD and my cannabis, and they put that stuff on and they just pass out. They just take a shower or a bath and they put it on all their body where they have pain. Like I have pain in my shoulders a lot because I'm always working on the computer looking down. So sometimes I'll just have my cannabis in a little jar and I'll just take it and rub it on my hands and stuff or whatever because my wrist hurt. And then I just put it on my shoulders and immediately you can put it on your face,
Now, is
whatever.
that ointment, is that on your site as well?
Yeah, it's called hope ointment. And we make that from scratch with shea butter, essential oils. We make it in CBD shake, and we also make it in THC shake and everything. And like I said, we soak it for about 2 months, and it's amazing. You can warm it up and put it on your body. When I go get massages, I don't take anything but my cannabis stuff with me to the massage therapist. That's what I take with me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just saw on her site where she also has spices.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to do spices and stuff. So you won't You want your chicken. Somebody asked what the link is. JD is highhopes.biz. Highhopes.biz. But I'm getting ready to do spices and um sauces, barbecue sauces, and different spices, onion powder, oils, sugars. Like I said, I can infuse anything. Ketchup, mustard. I just don't put it all on there because I'll be making shit all goddamn day and stuff or whatever. So I'm getting ready to move to a commercial kitchen. I'm getting ready to you do need some high hopes, Margaret. Yeah.
It's on the screen, Margaret. www, if you have to, just
Uh-huh.
highhopes.biz.
And Margaret, it's a lot of products to see. So just go through it. Everything I'm talking about is on the site, and it's Hope ointment, and it comes in the regular and CBD. Somebody asked you, can they post the link? It's highhopes.biz. It's right there.
JD, you need to read. That's one of my business partners. He better not be playing.
JD, you gotta read highhopes.biz. And join my newsletter. I do a lot of I put out a newsletter every Monday and every Wednesday, and people buy products. I do free shipping a lot of times. I'm trying to help people get in the business. I just haven't figured out how I'm going to do it, wholesale it to people, because my products are reasonably priced. Everything is reasonably priced. Those vape pens and oils, if you went into dispensaries, they $75 and $80. Mine's are $40, $35 and $40 and stuff. So I vape sometimes when I get ready to get on a plane, because none of my vaping pens, none of them, they're all fruity flavors. So it don't smell like THC. None of it smells like it. None of the gummies smell like it. None of that. So yeah, definitely. That's a bath bomb. You in pain, get you in a bath bomb. You put that bath bomb in there and let it soak in it. Then you get out and you put that Hope ointment on your body. And I'm going to tell you, you will have the best sleep. Maybe hit you a shot of Hope juice. You good.
Hope lotion.
Everything. Yeah. Those are salt soaks where you can soak. I have scrubs,
Ooh.
all of that. So I want people to get in this business and stuff. I just haven't figured out a way that I want to do it. I don't know how to, I'm just trying to still figure out wholesale. I don't want to do an MLM because I don't have the time to do that or whatever. I just really want people to buy the products at a discounted price or at the prices they are, and then they could sell it in their city. Before the pandemic, I had High Hopes reps in different states, and I was just gonna get on the road and do like Madam CJ Walker did and go to different states and set it up. High hopes in different states and have parties, launch parties, and the pandemic stopped all of that. So I may still do it probably next year. But yeah, that's it. That's how we do it.
Hope late on this evening, you're going to have a whole bunch of my money.
I got you. I'm going to hook you up with most stuff too.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, please dig in. If you know me, most definitely.
Okay, JD, I got you.
Yes. LB, send me the link. I got you. I'll do that, Margaret. I'll do that. I'll send you the link.
Send the link to her.
Hope, and that's my thing. When I keep going back to when I say that you're one of the hardest working ladies in showbiz. Look at all you're doing, and tie that into the convention and what you have there. Now, going back to the convention, how long did it take for you to put this process together, or what made you say this is needed?
I was at a girlfriend's house, and she reminded me of this about 10 years ago, and we were just talking. I said, I'm going to do a comedy convention. I wrote it all down on a napkin. And she was like, you're kidding. I said, I am. And I put the first one together in about 6 months. And I met another girl. She does conventions for 20 years. Her name is Belinda. She's out of Delaware. And I said, Belinda, I'm going to put the convention together in 6 months. She said, no, this takes at least a year. I said, watch. And I did it. And she comes every year. And she's amazed every year. It gets bigger and better. And I made a lot of mistakes. And I tell comics all the time, one thing I know for sure about the convention, it's not going to be perfect. I strive for perfection, but it's not going to be perfect. I'm always there. I'm accessible to comedians. I start the workshops. I tote the bags. I help with the registration. I'm there. It's my thing. It's my baby. And so I'm there all the time. I don't put it in other people's hands. I have help or whatever. But if anybody want to come down and volunteer, I'm looking for volunteers and staff, not comedians though. I want other people, because when the comedians come, they want to sit in the workshops and they want to ask them, can you pass out that? They look at me crazy. So I stopped allowing comedians to come for free. I want you to come and get this learning and stuff and not be distracted. So if anybody is down and willing to travel and come, I'll have an Airbnb and we stay in there. We ain't in there that much, just to lay down or shower and get ready for the nighttime's event. So it's day and night. It's day and night. We be so tired at the end of the week. At the end of the week, I do the farewell luncheon and I give awards away. My favorite things, I give awards to people and we laugh and we cry and we miss each other and get ready for the next year. And the relationships that are made are just amazing. Just amazing.
That's awesome, Hope. Me and the guys, we're gonna put some things together and see if we can get a group to join in with us and come down and enjoy this. I'm leaving that on the screen for you, ladies and gentlemen. Please, if you know someone that's in the entertainment business altogether, that also in reference to maybe some models and some people that's trying to be in movies, I'm sure they can benefit from the convention.
Yeah, T.I., I need you to get down. Tip, I need.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a question I had. You said that the first 7 years you started out in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And now you moved it to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
What are you planning on moving to other cities, or you think Atlanta may be the foundation for it?
People ask me to move it around to different cities. It's hard when you don't live in the city. It worked in LA because I'm from LA, so I can go to the venues, I can look at stuff, I can see this, I can see that. I'm a control freak, and not only that, my name is on this. L. If this don't work out, nobody's looking at nobody but me. And these comedians, I gotta work with these. Most of your work comes from other comedians, so I have to work with these people. So I can't do them wrong or take their money and not deliver. That's why everybody that comes, every workshop, every presenter, every honoree, I'm like, are you sure you're gonna come? Because when I post who's coming and what's doing, I don't know what makes people go register. It could be, I want to take that workshop, or I want to meet Thea, or I want to meet this person. So I want to make sure that they there, because then if not, they like, I paid for host convention and this didn't happen, because I've heard that about other conventions and festivals, that they got down there and none of what the people said happened. So I'm very, very conscious of that. And I'm a woman of my word, and integrity is very important to me. And so I make sure that everything, and if that person don't come, I replace them with somebody else. So people can't say that, well, they didn't have this class. Well, I maybe not that speaker or that teacher, but somebody else came and did it. So you still got what you needed. Even with the showcases and stuff, we put up 15 to 20 comics a night per show. And they got 3 to 5 minutes to be funny. Because if you do Letterman, or, well, he's off the air, if you do Kimmel or Fallon or any of those shows, they only give you 3 to 5 minutes, 3 minutes really. And you got to be funny in 3 minutes. And people say that ain't enough time. 3 minutes is a long time if you bomb it. It's like 3 years and stuff, whatever. So, and you have to learn this. And that's what it's about. And then people who win their showcases and stuff, I take them out on the road with me. And they get to open up for me and learn this business from the roads aspect as well.
And I tell you, people, if you are selected to open up for Hope, have it together. Now, I don't know how long and why it took so long for her mouth to get dry, but I've been sipping on my water throughout the whole entire interview. That's her first sip, ladies and gentlemen. So that lets you know.
It's my second.
He's a professional.
I don't want to be sipping all on the show and people think something wrong with me. And, I'm up early and stuff. And this is my coffee. This is my early morning coffee.
Word is born. Hope, Urban Voice Media and Up One Entertainment will be there August the 28th through September the 1st. Is that Labor Day weekend, or is that the week
right before? It's right before.
Okay. Yeah, we will be in the house for that, and we're really looking forward to meeting and greeting.
Yes, and you can meet comedians and stuff and interact with them, because that's what they need. They need to know that promoters are in the building watching their showcases so they can get work. And I encourage promoters to come. I don't charge the promoters to come if they want to come and look at the showcases, because the goal is for them to be seen so they can get other work. So you come to the showcases, look at the comedians, you can approach them, you can talk to them, because by the time they get to the showcases, they'll have their business cards and stuff together, and they, because a lot of them come and they don't know. They don't have their social media right. They don't have their websites. They don't have the business cards right. I tell them all the time, Lunel, when they do it in LA, Lunel used to be the first one at the meet and greet that they meet. And she would make them bring up their business cards. And if they weren't, she would tear them up right in their face and throw it at them. Some people will get offended and get mad. And I tell them all the time, if you can't take this criticism from us who care about you, you're not going to make it in this business.
Right.
Because this business is a lot of criticism and a lot of critiquing and a lot of no's. And so you got to be used to that. So that's why we're so hard, because they was hard on us. So don't come here with your feelings on your sleeve, thinking I'm going to be sugarcoating and patting you on the back or consoling you if you bomb or something like that. I'm not going to do it.
Right.
I'm not going to do it.
Right. Hope, I enjoyed this. I gathered a lot from it. Most definitely, I didn't know that I was going to spend mega monies later on this evening.
What do you get? I got you. I'm gonna
but I got to keep my smile going.
Yes.
You helped me out tremendously.
I'm glad.
Anytime you want to come back to the round table and sit down with me and talk about whatever's going on with what you're doing, most definitely I'm passionate in reference to what you said, in reference to the things you're doing in the community itself.
Yes.
Passionate about your business with the CBD. And people, it's not about getting high. It's about helping your body and staying.
It's about healing.
Yeah.
It really is about healing. And I have people, this is the funniest thing. I tell people all the time, that I think it's a control freak in us or whatever, but I tell people, don't fight your high. What is the purpose of you doing this stuff, taking it and ingesting it, and now I don't want to be high. Well, then what you take it for? The goal is to be high. The goal is to heal. It's the goal. So quit fighting your high. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Ride with it. Roll with it and everything. And enjoy the ride and quit trying to fight it. It ain't going to hurt you. And quit going to the emergency room. If I can say anything to anybody, quit going to the emergency room off of edibles, because this is what they do. I know I have friends that are nurses and stuff. They work the emergency room. They said more people come in there from eating edibles. All they do is take your vitals, you tell them what you took, and they go in the back and they just laugh all night at your ass and stuff. Because it's not going to hurt you. You're not going to die or anything like that. Just ride it, go home, get you some Fruit Loops or some Apple Jacks, watch your favorite show. I used to watch Modern Family and Frasier and all of those shows and just laugh my ass off. You look at it differently when you high. You can laugh and you can be uninhibited and stuff. I do, sometimes I do a little vape or pop a gummy right before I go on stage sometime and everything. And it just makes me just flow and be uninhibited and stuff. So that's what you want to do. Don't fight your high, y'all. Quit fighting your high. If that's the case, don't take it. Don't do it, or don't take as much. Microdose. It's called microdosing. Just take it and see what happens. And don't eat it all. Like, you're going to buy all this shit. Do not eat all of this shit at one time. Try one thing, see if that works. Then try to. I send stuff to my cousin. I've been sending stuff to my cousin for 5 years. And she'll be like, I lost a whole day. I said, I keep telling y'all, quit this stuff. Heavily medicated, heavily infused, because I want people to feel it. I don't want people to get my stuff and be like, I didn't feel anything. And some people will do that. And then I say, if you've never done it before, you don't know when you're high.
Right.
But if you stop at a stop sign and you're waiting for the light to turn green, you high. If you stuttering, if you stuck on stupid, if you can't move and stuff, you're high. Trust me.
Hope, before we go, you have a network that you Is it put together yet for the females?
I'm working on it right now. I'm working with a friend of mine. We reconnected after 20 or 30 years. He used to be one of the producers of Comic View and stuff. That's a show I'm doing in Leimert Park at the Regency West, which is the old comedy act theater, what we call the house that Robin Harris built. And I'm a advocate. They reopened it back up. Some of my male comedian friends, and we've been friends in the business for years. And so they opened it back up. So I support them. And so they gave me my own night once a month to host it. And I said, I just want to do a female show, because a lot of times you see these shows and there'll be all men and no women on them, right. And so I've been an advocate for female comedians from the beginning of time. I think we're just as funny. I think that we're even funnier. I believe, when you go to a comedy show, 90% of the audience is women. Why is there not a female voice on that show? Mm-hmm. You can have 5 guys on a show, and if you put 2 females on a show, then now it's an all-female show, and it's not. We want people to stop saying, y'all ready for a female? Why are you saying that? That's who, what I'm saying? That's just my sexuality. That's what it is. I'm a comedian. You know what I'm saying? So,
by you saying that, Hope, it took me back to Monique, when Monique did the comedy event at the prison camp for the ladies. Mm-hmm. And that bad boy made you cry, feel good about yourself, wanted to go out and do outreach, and laughed all at the same time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Cheryl Underwood and I used to do it. Cheryl Underwood and I were best friends for like 15 years. You saw me, you saw her, and we used to do shows in the prisons. And you'd be shocked, you know, with the brothers and how grateful they are. Um, I met Mac Dre. May he rest well. I met Mac Dre, one of the federal prisons here, and we became friends and wrote each other back and forth. Some of the best talent is locked up. Some of the best talent is in prison and stuff. So shout out to the brothers locked up. 80% of the people that are locked up are innocent or wrongly accused. And one thing Black people don't do that we need to do that they say is when they read you your Miranda rights, it says you have the right to remain silent. That's your right. Anything you say can and will be used against you. So I teach my son, him being a Black man in LA and American stuff. I said, when the police arrest you, if it's something happens, do not say nothing until I get your lawyer. They didn't beat and fucked around and pin the OJ murders on your ass. You know what I'm saying? And stuff. So don't say nothing to
Ladies
nobody.
and gentlemen, if you don't gather nothing from this, please Google her, YouTube her, Facebook her, Instagram her, go to her webpage, go to her cannabis, and just view for yourself how wonderful, how talented, how business oriented this lovely lady right here is.
Thank you so much.
That's
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you for inboxing me and reaching out and everything and taking this time. I appreciate it. I appreciate any interviews to help move Black comedy along. Nobody's doing award shows for us, L. We don't have insurance. We don't have a union set up for comedians. We don't have any of that stuff. And when we try to do all of that stuff, we get stopped, or comedians are, one of my boy, Gerald Kelly, he's a comedian from New York now living in Atlanta. He has a comedy thing where he does him and his sons, Gerald Kelly and Sons. All three of his sons do comedy. He's an amazing comedian and we're great friends. And he called me. He said he met with Jay-Z. Jay-Z seen him one day and pulled him to the back. He said, why are you comedians not have a union? He said, you could get 50 comedians to put up $2,000 a piece. That's $100,000. And y'all can do your own shows, book your own venues, do your own advertising, and then split the money. So of course he called me because that's who I am. He called me. And when I started researching it and getting on it and calling comedians, the saddest part was, who gonna hold the money? I don't want to work with this person. I don't want to work with that person. It just didn't make sense. Even with the Get Down tour, when DL and Eddie Griffin, George Lopez, Charlie Murphy, may he rest well, Cedric, they put all their money together, got the venues, paid for their own radio advertising, and they did a whole tour for years. And the women won't do that. I can't get 5 of them bitches to go to IHOP to talk about some shit like that and stuff or whatever. And that's why part of the reason we are behind, because we can't work together. Other females that are up in the business don't want other women on the shows with them to steal their shine. And
hopefully that'll change. And my thing on that one, Hope, is if you're funny, because you go back to the kings of comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think Sadie was tragic that Bernie's gonna take his shine? Nah, dude, write your best. Prepare for your best. Ain't nobody gonna take nothing from you.
But not only that, what it does is make you a better comic. It makes you work harder at your craft when you see other comics. What these young comics do, what we used to do when we were coming up, I used to do my set and then I would sit and watch Martin Lawrence. I would sit and watch Ricky Harris. I would sit and watch the greats. Whatever, at the hem of their garment, like they was Jesus and stuff. These young comics, they come up, they burn the stage up, they're disrespectful and do over their time, trying to impress the headliner or burn the stage so the headliner can't get no shine or something, do over their time, being disrespectful. And I tell them all the time, I pull them to the side sometimes. I said, one day, if you work very, very hard, one day you're going to be the headliner and you're going to want some respect. One day. Mm-hmm. And that's it. We used to watch the greats and watch them and like, okay, I could do this, I could learn this, I could do that. Okay, wow, look how he did the segue. J. Anthony Brown, Ronaldo Ray was one of my mentors. Simply Marvelous was one of my mentors. May she rest well. And Ronaldo, Rodney Winfield, he used to wear the sailor hat and stuff. He was one of my mentors. They just thought he was a drunk, but in that drunkenness was wisdom beyond wisdom beyond wisdom. And so, and that's part of what this is about. Just giving back to comedians and stuff so they can learn more about the business and not just rely on stand up, and quit saying, I'm going to be the next Kevin Hart. No, you're going to be the first L. You're going to be the first this. Quit being, I'm not the next Monique. I'm the first Hope Flood.
Right.
You know, and I learned that from Babyface. Babyface came to the station one time in Dallas, and we did an interview with him, and they kept comparing him to Quincy Jones. And he said, look, there'll never be another Quincy Jones.
Exactly.
There'll never be another Whitney. There'll never be another Luther. I am who I am for my era. I am the Babyface of my era. But don't compare me to them people. They paved their way. They were the greats in their era. But I am the first Babyface. And that's where I learned that from. So I tell comics, quit comparing your journey. I'm not the next Tiffany Haddish. I'm the first Hope Flood.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And by you stating that, I'm going to state this, a quote from Martin Luther King: everything that is done in the world is done by hope.
Yes. You love that. I saw you love that. I love that. Somebody gave me that years ago, and I never forgot that. Everything. And that's not Martin Luther King. That's Martin Luther. There was a Martin Luther before Martin Luther King. Yeah, it's not Martin Luther King.
Okay.
It's a Martin Luther and stuff or whatever. But I got that from him.
Hope, keep doing what you're doing.
Okay.
I'll see you soon.
All right.
Until next time.
We're going to keep in touch. I'll probably want to come back on maybe May or June, because then I could talk about the awards show and all my honorees and things like that, because that's open to the public. When I did it last year, it was something short of a BET Awards. I had music, I had presenters. Bruce came and presented. Don D.C. Curry. I had Ashima Franklin. Vanessa Fraction came. It was Coco Brown hosted it with Tyler Chronicles, who's on with Tigger and in Atlanta. It was everything I envisioned it to be and more. It was just amazing. I had a live music and skits, and it was just, God just drops these amazing ideas. If I had some real money, I could do a whole lot of stuff. So all you drug dealers or people got money and you need to clean up a little cash, holla at your girl.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna send a little bit of money out to you through between now and then. That way I can keep this smile going.
Yes, I got you.
Being a business boy, it'll toughen you up. Hope, until next time.
Yes.
You stay sweet and
thank you.
Don't go nowhere. I need to talk to you. All right.
Sure, no problem. Love y'all. Good. Thank y'all for having me. Thank y'all for listening.
All right, Hope. Guys, I enjoyed that interview with Hope, and please support the Black-owned businesses. Please, it's very important that we do get to push from our own communities to help make what we do be expandable to each and all. Because without you guys, we can't take that load by ourselves. Even though Hope stated that she's been doing this by herself without sponsorship, and that's one thing I want you people to listen to: sponsorship. If whatever you have, Jerry's Car Wash, sponsor, because that could do more for your business, even though you are helping another business reach a plateau that they're trying to get to. Sponsorship. Follow Hope with the convention, the Comics Rocks convention. Follow her there. Go to her webpage. Follow her there. Go to Facebook and Instagram. Follow her there. Once you see what I seen in reference to who Hope Flood was, you're going to be like, wow, this lady has really, really put in the hard work and the tears to be where she is and to do what she's doing by herself. Incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, y'all be good. L.